Cuckoo. Hi everybody and welcome back to Cheza Cheza. In this video, we want to set up a title screen, which is the screen that players will see once they launch the game. So we're going to be setting up the screen and as well the controls to get us to the next portion of the game. Let's go ahead and create a new scene. And in this scene, we're going to have a control node as the main node. So control, and we can just call this title screen. And then we're going to click on layer over here at the top and set it to be full rect. Then as a child of title screen, we're going to have a texture rect. Texture rect as well, we're going to go to layout and have it as full rectangle. Then what we want to do is we want to go into the assets folder that you downloaded from chezacheza.co.ke. Inside that folder, you're going to find an image file called menu_bg.png. So what we want to do is drag that image file into our directory here, and then we're going to have it in resources inside our backgrounds folder. Then what we want to do is for texture rect, we want to drag that file into this texture property right here. Go ahead and drag it in like that. And then from there, what we want to do is for title screen again, add two child nodes, two labels, label 1, and just duplicate that. And then label 1, we're going to rename it to game title. And then label 2, we're just going to call it message. So from there, game title, the game is called Wana Savana. So in the text property up here, just call it Wana Savana. In the inspector here, under theme overrides, we can have fonts, just as we did with the HUD. So new dynamic font, and then we're going to drag our font into font data over here, and then go into settings. The size, we can try a size of maybe 60. That's not big enough. 80, still not big enough. Maybe 120 seems about right. And then here for layout, we can maybe have it at center. Perfect. And then of course we can go ahead and change the colors. Font color, we don't want it as black, so we can just go in here, and here where there's a hashtag, we can have a hex color code. I'm going to use that code right there. Press enter, and then I can just add it on here, right? And then font outline, we can have it as black, and then maybe have 5 pixels. Then here for game message, we're going to tell the player to press enter to start. Let's just have that in small caps like that. And then we're going to go into theme overrides here, fonts, new dynamic font, then click on dynamic font, and then font data again, move the font into the font data property. And then again, we're going to go into settings. First of all, the size, we can have these as 60. Yes, that's completely fine. And we can move this to just below our title there, our game title there. Our colors, font color, again, we don't want it to be black, so we can just go in here and I'll paste in a hex color code. You can use mine, or you can use any color code that you wish, or you can even play around with this color chart right here. So but I'm just going to paste in my color code. It's green, and then I'm just going to add it there. So yes, green is what I'm going to have it as. And then font outline, of course, have it as black, and then the outline 2 pixels. So right now our title screen is looking a bit bland. So what you can go ahead and do is add an animation player, and we're going to add a new animation, and we're going to call it maybe flashing, and we want the duration to be 2 minutes, and then step, we can have it as 0.5. We're going to have it for our message here. So message text, click on the keyframe right there and say create, and then at 0.5 we can just remove the text like that, and then click on the key property again, and then for 1 we can bring the text back and press on key, and then for 1.5 we can remove the text, press the key property, and then we can have it as autoplay and looping. Let's just see if our animation is working. So the message is going to be flashing on and off the screen. So with that, we can go ahead and save our scene. So, and we're just going to call it title screen, save. And then what we want to do is now have a script attached to our scene. remember we are saving our scripts in the scripts folder. So, oops, and I almost made attached a script for the message node. We want a script for the title screen. So screen scripts, and we say create. Then what we want to do is we want to get rid of all this code here, and then we're going to write our own function, and we're going to say function input event, and we're going to say if event dot is action pressed, and here we're going to use UI accept with a colon at the end. And the reason why we're using UI accept is if you go into project and then project settings and then input map, you can see that there's already some inputs hard coded into the engine, and already because we are telling the player to press enter, enter is what is mapped to UI accept, or UI accept is mapped to enter and also space. So that's the reason why you're using UI accept. And then we're going to say get tree dot change scene, and then we're going to change scene to level 01. So what we want to do, we can just go ahead and test this, see if it's functional. So here we are in our game, and I just want to test whether this works. So we're going to press enter to start, and when I press enter, you see automatically we are taken into our level 01, which you said is the scene that we ought to be taken into. So our title screen works quite well, but I think we ought to make another scene for where our player can select at the level that they want to play. So suppose you have maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 multiple levels. You can have a screen, another screen, or another scene where the player can select which level they want to play from that scene. So from there, what we want to do is create the level select scene. So going to scene, new scene, and again we're going to have a control node as the main node. So control, and we're just going to change this to level select, and then remember to have the layout as full rectangle. Then as a child node, texture rect, and again for texture rect, make sure the layout is set to full rectangle. Then going to move menu underscore bg.png to the texture property. And then for our scene here, what we want to do is we want to have two buttons. We're just going to have two levels. I've gone ahead and created a level 02. So we're going to have just two buttons, to one that takes us into level 01 and the other one that takes us to level 02. We're going to have a child node, and for button, we can use button, but we're going to use a better version of button, that is texture button, that allows us to set the button as an image. So texture button right there, let's call it button level 1. Now there's two images that are also in the assets folder that you downloaded. So here all you want to do is we want to create a new folder. So new folder, and then we're just going to call this folder UI, like that, and then drag the two images. The first image is called btn underscore dn.png, and the other one is btn underscore app.png. Drag both images into our directory, and we want to have them in UI. Here they are. In our inspector here, there's this portion that says textures right there. So we just want to drag button up into the normal property here. So pressed is btn underscore dn. So we can go ahead and have other images for these other properties right here, but for now all we're going to have is these two. So for normal and for pressed. And what we want to do is go ahead and duplicate that button like that, so that we have button level 1 and button level 2. And we can just move button level 1 and level 2 somewhere there. And if you want to be more precise with our placements here, select button level 1, and here for rect position we can have 160, and on the y-axis maybe 180. Now for button level 2 we can go ahead and do the same. Rect on the y-axis, I think we've said 180, yes. And for the x-axis, now this position right here, we need to do a little bit of math. So if this is from here to here is 160, and our viewport here is 1200, so 1200 minus 160 is going to be 1040. Then our images are 300 pixels wide, so 1040 minus 300 I think is 740. So we can have, we want quite far off, 757, 740. So, and then as a child of level select, again we want to have label right here, and then we're just going to have LVL1. We're going to have level 1 as the text. Theme overrides, fonts, new dynamic font, and then we're going to have font data, curve regular, then go into settings, see colors, font color black, not quite, so we can have our color that we added there, and then font outline black as well with 2 pixels. Then size, it's looking a bit small, maybe let's try 50. 50 is not too bad, right? Then we can go ahead and duplicate that, Control D, and the other one we're going to have it as level 2. Let's just move it over to where it's supposed to be, and we can change what it says to level 2 like that. Awesome. So what we want to do now is save our scene. Level select.tsn, we can say save. Again, what we want to do is attach a script, and almost made the same mistake attaching a script to label level 2. We want to have level select, then attach the script, have it in our scripts folder, and then say open. And then first things first, we want to delete all that code. For our level select scene right here, it's very easy. We don't even need to write much code. So the first thing we want to do is we want to select the first texture button like that, and then go into node at the top here. And then what we want to do is connect the signal for pressed like that. So connect, and automatically we have our function right here. What we want to do is get tree dot change scene, and then we want to change scene to level 01, and then we want to go back into our scene and select button level 2 and connect its press signal, and we're going to say connect, and we can just copy this line of code, and here we're going to say level 02. For the title screen, we want to say when somebody presses enter, you accept, we want to go into slash, what did we call our scene? Level select. It's about time we set the main scene for our project or for our game. So do you want to go? It's a title screen, right? So if you want to set the main scene, we can do it in our project and project settings over here. But a more easy and straightforward way is just going ahead and pressing the play button right here, right? The play project. And once you press play, it's going to give you a notification that there's no main scene selected. And no main scene has ever been defined. Select one. You can change it later in project settings under application category. So we're going to select the current scene, which is the title screen. So here we are in our project once more, and we're just in the title scene. So what I want to do is test whether when I press enter, I'm going to be taken to the level select screen. So let me just do that. Yes, I'm in the level select screen, and there's level 1 right here and level 2. And once I pick level 1, I should be taken straight into our first level. Perfect. I just want to reload the game. Once more, I'm in the title screen. This time I'm going to press space. Space still takes us to the level select screen, and I want to select level 2. Make sure that we're taken into the second level of our game. There we go, and here we are in level 2 that I took the liberty of designing. So that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like the video. Also, if you'd like to see more content coming up, please subscribe. And lastly, if you have friends that you think would enjoy learning about game development, please share this video with them. I'd be really appreciative if this tutorial got to as many aspiring developers as possible. Thank you, and see you in the next one.